Hello there, and welcome to the Carwash 2.0. Show was so good, disappeared for a few years. We're back now. We're back, we're better than ever. My name is Dalmain Favor. I'm your host. I'm a journalist to Sokala Duma, and my mother loves me. That's all you need to get. And of course, I'm not alone. I have a few special guests with me, legends in their own right, people who have done the business both on and off the field. Some of us are still doing it on the field. Yeah. My far left, we've got...
Is that me?
Yeah. Now I want you to listen to this. Let me serenade you. Okay. Let me serenade you.
Good luck with that.
First up, the man who made football look like a catwalk and heartbreak look fashionable. A Soweto original. Pirates royalty. The face of the entire 2010 FIFA World Cup.
Sure.
The one and only Teko Modise. Now listen. I'm serenading you. This is the brother who rocked up to his last day at a club in a checkered suit and a red bow tie. Like he was attending a wedding he organized himself. They didn't just let him leave the club. They called a whole press conference to do it. Yeah. This is the guy with 66 Bafana caps, 10 goals, and after years of suffering the trophy curse, he finally found peace and silverware at Chlorkop. He's got a wall tattooed on his body for blocking out pain, according to his book. Some of us, we just take Panado. But now he blocks pain as being one of the sharpest voices in the game. The tattooed icon, the people's champ, Teko Modise.
I know.
You must play that song, Serenade. Thank you very much. Well, that was nice.
The pressure is on now. If this is how you serenade.
It's a lot.
Hey.
Next up, on my left, my immediate left, the man who turned adversity into elevation. Yeah. Soweto's very own bright star, Brighton Mhlongo, former Orlando Pirates goalkeeper. Proud Bafana international, one cap to his name. Proof that football careers don't end.
It's allowed.
They evolve.
And the match was not even televised.
What do you mean? Wait, Talman, wait. Why is interrupting my serenation? And besides, that one cap is important, guys.
Very.
I'm full of How did you get a cap when you... I'll continue this conversation about the serenade.
Okay. Let me serenade you. Yeah. Let me cook. We say yes, he's had his tough moments between the posts. And I'm not referring to the 6-1.
Don't traumatize me.
But what truly defines him is how an injury didn't slow him down. In fact, it opened up an entirely new lane for him. From goal mouth to your TV screens, Brighton has transitioned into acting, media, broadcasting with the same confidence that he showed on the pitch. And unlike Teko, his tattoos you can actually see.
Hey, shots fired. Okay, it's going to be a long day.
From gloves to the spotlight, the bright star himself, Brighton Mhlongo.
Yeah. Thank you. And for the response, Teko.
Jesus.
How was I expected to get 50 caps?
We keep it moving. That's Linda.
When I'm playing...
Let me serenade.
We serenade Linda. We're cooking.
Let me serenade
water into wine. Oh, hello, when you turn water into wine. Yeah.
Let me serenade Linda. And saving the drip for last, the fashion-forward footballer raised in the shadows of Escodini itself. You literally grew up next to Orlando. This man whose journey is as colorful as his hairstyles and as bold as his tattoos, one of which is of Orlando Pirates. The club he grew up idolizing across the road. Now, this was a waiter at Carnival City during the PSL Awards. But it didn't stop there for him. He became a nominee himself. He's a professional player, and Linda's story says pure hustle. Fearless in fashion, fearless in self-expression, and still grinding at the pitch with Sekhukhune United, Figo represents the modern footballer. Confident, so much so that wearing a skirt is not beyond his reach. Creative and unapologetically himself, more than just looks and flair. He's living proof that authenticity is power. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Mntmabo.
No.
Po, 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 po.
No. Thank you. That was nice. Yeah.
The Pirates.
Yeah, Cosmos, Chiba. The only people see the Pirates one, but I've got tattoos of my previous teams.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Tattoos of Chippa.
Yeah, I've got a portrait of Jomo.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a tattoo of Jomo Cosmos logo. I've got a tattoo of Chippa.
Bengis.
Yeah, from P.
That's
Yeah.
nice, man.
It's been a part of my journey.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting a Babina Noko a tattoo. We've still got space.
Okay.
Now it looks like when we were selecting this panel, we had a strict criteria.
The tattoos.
Tattoos number 1,
Yeah.
being from Soweto number 2, and then having played for Orlando Pirates
Yeah,
number
yeah.
3.
Okay.
I think we've got a pretty decent cast, right? And
Yeah.
I want to jump straight into it,
Yeah.
where we unpack a hard-hitting topic that is everyone is speaking about it at the moment. Bafana. There's so much happening with the national team, Teko. We've got the AFCON coming up in December. We've got the World Cup 6 months later. I want to ask you, when I say Bafana, what comes to mind? What's the first thing that pops up for you when we speak about Bafana in 2025?
Bafana Bafana in 2025, I would say what comes to mind is excitement. Maybe also that follows with a belief. I mean, all of a sudden, man, we have a Bafana Bafana that everybody's interested in watching. I don't remember the last time we were so excited with Bafana. Maybe it was 2010, maybe the last time we were excited about Bafana. But in the recent years, I mean, I think ever since, we tried different coaches. Hugo Bruce came through. Nobody liked him. We criticized him. I was one of those people as well. As to then how he wanted to immediately change Bafana.
Sure.
And yeah, man, then we went on to become one of the households in Africa, coming third in the AFCON, and still continue qualifying for the World Cup. The last time we qualified, I think it was 2002. Lucas Radebe was still there. Mandela was still alive.
3 years
Take
ago.
a shit.
I started grade 2.
Yeah, so you explained on our age.
I started grade 2 in 2002.
I was playing professional football at the time. So anyway, so yeah, man. I think guys can attest to it. I mean, as to then how exciting it is to not just to watch Bafana, but just to have conversations around it, and we still feel like there's a lot that contributed to what Bafana is today. I think maybe the biggest credit can go to the PSL as to then the type of work that they have done. The DDC coming into place. I mean, for the fact that we are the best league in the continent, it really resonates as to then maybe falls off as well as to what Bafana is doing. Of course, in the previous AFCON, it was majority of Mamelodi Sundowns players on the team. Mamelodi Sundowns was on a different level. Now Orlando Pirates are dominating. Orlando Pirates on a different level. So when you have big teams that are doing great things, it also impacts as to then how Bafana looks. And right now, we're all excited. The pressure is on. But what type of footballer are you if you're not going to be putting yourself in situations that are, requires you to be under pressure? Because football, it is about those type of games. You train so hard. We started playing football at a young age to be in bigger stages. And I think this is the biggest stage. There's a lot of young guys in the Bafana team. Yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to see as to then what is it that they can conjure this time around. Now that everybody knows them in the continent, then Bafana is one of the best teams. Now that everybody knows you, can you actually be able to sustain that type of pressure, the expectations? And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Linda, just last week, recently, Coach Hugo Bruce announced this 25-man squad. When you were watching it, were there any surprises for you that stood out? I know that one of Themba Zwane, a lot of people were shocked, but not shocked because he'd been injured for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of people were arguing about Lodge, whether he should be there or not. People were fighting for Ikram Reyners. They were saying that he's one of the most informed strikers.
Yeah, based on the numbers, right?
Based on numbers, yeah. Statistically speaking,
Yeah.
he is. Your thoughts?
No, you're right. I think, before I give my opinion, maybe first let's congratulate Coach Hugo Bruce and the work that he's done with the national team.
Sure.
I think for in a long time, I think in South Africa, it's just exciting times, like what Teko has just said.
Yeah.
And the standard again of the PSL, I think teams competing in interclub football has just also contributed to the national team and the success that is there. But again, you know, I know. But again, I said it's my opinion, right?
Your opinion. We want your opinion.
Yeah, I think there's just been a lot of, let's say, should I say unfairness, you know, to certain players. And again, to what the coach always says. You know, I said it off air that it's a pity that I was injured. I just came back now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But had I came back earlier and got my form and started scoring, I would have wanted my name to be there.
Would you have sent the police call?
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, because you know, as a South African, I think I'm entitled to play for the national team. So this age thing, I think it should be scrapped out. You know, because now it just doesn't balance. You know, when you hear Coach Hugo speak about the importance of Mshishi Tembazwane in the national team,
It's 36.
yeah, and then he looks away at performances of Temiko Siloj, then you know it is a problem. You know, and as a coach, again, that same Mshishi, you didn't want him in the national team for 4.
Yeah.
You know, and we came in and told you that he's probably our best player in the league at that moment. And, you know, he had to swallow his pride and take him in. So that for me, and, you know, no problem to the players that have been selected. I would have wanted, you know, one of our players to be selected at Kukune United. For instance, Ekeleto Makhaul.
Yeah.
I think he's been hard done. The past season, he was part of 2 big awards. Football of the season, and Players Player of the season. And for him not to have been given a call up for so long.
Not even a reserve player.
Yeah, and when he started the season, this season, he was amongst the top assists. Again, he'd never been called up. It's only now that he got a call up, but never got a chance to play. So again, it just it raises a lot of eyebrows, you know, as to what the criteria is. But we're not taking away from all the guys that have been selected that are going to represent the country. But I think in the future, maybe as a coach, is just select your players and just keep quiet, block the noise. Because the moment you speak about this player, we are going to question you about the other player. Understand? And then it's going to now cause turmoil within the country.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Now, speaking of causing turmoil, we are in rainy Johannesburg. And if you do hear sounds, ask us. But
I'm sorry.
it is raining on this side of the world. It was hailing as well. Some of us had to run, put our cars under covers. So if you see some water on faces, it's not sweat. It is hail. It is rain.
Hey, Bana. Even indoors.
Even indoors.
Hey.
Now, Brighton, I want to come over to you. And on Friday, I was at an event with the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture and Recreation, very importantly, said that Bafana can win the World Cup. Sure. Number 1.
Okay.
And then he said he expects minimum a final from the AFCON. Now, I want to ask you, let's be fair. Are we good enough or are we dreaming? What are our realistic chances in both of these competitions? And I want you to be as honest as possible.
But are you being unfair? How do you ask a person with 1 cap with that kind of question? When someone played the World Cup, you should be able to answer that question.
In fact, you stood there also, you know, then because
Did he start? That 1 cap, did he start?
Yeah, it was a friend.
But he started the match.
But we still lost.
Let's put this matter to bed.
Did we win?
My 1 cap, we played against Ghana.
Did we win?
It was televised. Moses,
did we win?
You drew 1-1. And then, in addition, how did you expect me guys to go above 1 cap when I was playing with the likes of Itumeleng Kun, Mzansi's finest?
The late Senzo.
I'm not gonna go further. I'll leave it at
No right. No,
And I remember that game also. They scored from a center line.
No, it was a penalty. That I want to say. Anyway, coming back to that question. You know what's the thing? So when you ask me that question, like I'm thinking about it and I'm hearing Figo, you know, talking about the criteria, players being selected by merit. And we're not saying that they're not being selected by merit, but I think form over anything. It's always key. It's always important. Again, when Figo says rather than select the players and don't say anything, I think it has always been the best policy for every coach at the top level, where they'll even come back to you and say, when I select you to play, I don't announce why am I playing. I don't explain anything, you know. So I just select and let's keep it moving, because it does raise a couple of eyebrows and so forth. But as for Minister Mackenzie's bold declarations, I'm calling them bold because yes, sometimes it's good to be ambitious, It's good also to set the standards and expectations as well for the team, for the players, everyone who's involved. But at the same time, we need to be wary of how we put out those things, especially for the country at large, because for us, the custodians of football, and I'm talking as a fan right now, it's easy to misquote, misinterpret what you are saying.
Yeah.
And when things don't work out, because yes, we've had a fantastic run throughout so many games unbeaten under Coach Hugo Bruce. And we've seen great nations go through that. We saw Spain coming into the 2010 winning it,
Lost their
and then the
first game
following,
Switzerland.
and then the following campaign they struggled. They even lost the Euros. We saw Italy doing the same thing. We saw France winning 2006 World Cup. I mean, they went to the final. Sorry,
Yeah, in the finals 2006.
yeah.
Yeah.
But after that, they've been horrible. We saw the most famous one, the most recent one as well was Germany in Brazil. They were masterclass. They were hammering everyone. And then the following World Cup 2018,
They were cack.
they were horrible. they were horrendous, man.
Yeah.
So all those things, we'll never know what might happen because we have AFCON. We have 2 back-to-back major tournaments. Right? We have AFCON right now.
Yeah.
And a lot can still happen. Expectations, everyone is saying we've set the bar very high with the bronze medal. Nothing less than a final. But the question is now, should we not even make it out of the group, of which it's out of question from everyone? But when you look at the group, it's a relatively tough group. We have Angola, they're physically strong. They're a nightmare. You have Zimbabwe, who like to be, the noisy neighbors, the disturbing.
They always cost us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have Egypt as well, who have, a bone to pick with us after the 2019 AFCON, the exit.
They have an unhappy start.
Yeah. So, and we know what Donna and crew did when they got to Egypt. So everything that's got to do with South Africa,
Yeah.
Egypt, it's a nightmare. So all of those things, when you combine them together, it's unwanted pressure around the club, around the country, the team. So my thing is that we are proud of the squad for making sure that they qualify. AFCON, they qualify again for the World Cup. All they have to do now, just take it from there, go to the field of play and take it one game at a time. Because the first game is going to be important.
But I've got a thing though. Maybe just to play devil's advocate as well. So then it's always going to be difficult when you are a national team coach, because then you don't have enough time to work with the players, right? So then at some point you need to have some sort of criteria that everybody speaks of as to then how you select. It's always going to be difficult. It's always going to be the question as to then, but Linda supposed to be there, this, that. Those are the challenges that the coach needs to face. But once you sign those contracts, you know what you're facing. But for me, is like what I've also realized is in terms of the pattern that Coach Hugo Bruce has is that the certain positions that he doesn't compromise. Then he has his own soldiers, and then the other positions he tinkers a little bit and all that type of stuff. And I like that because then that's how we grow. That's how then we integrate all the younger ones, because those are the younger ones that are gonna carry the spine. They're gonna carry the But now within that is what I don't like is when you select a young player like Campbell, you're putting him into a tournament when he hasn't had a first any cap at the senior team. So then you haven't really tested him in a sense that you know that he is a soldier enough, because you have shown us that there's soldiers that you rely on. He hasn't really given you much in terms of national team colors. You see as to then can he become one of those players that actually help us, right? And for me is like and there's a player maybe possibly for me, I would love to see him play in the World Cup based on he's playing overseas.
He scored a World Cup.
He's doing great there, right? And I strongly believe that he's always been under the radar of Coach Hugo Bruce with the players that he at some point needs to select. But then you had a friendly in between. I think it was a Zambia game. There was a friendly in between.
He could have called it.
He could have called him and played him, right? And it comes back to what Figo said. Then you have Makalo that has been doing so much, right? It is a friendly. Why are you still playing your strongest team? You know what you're going to get from them.
The other guys.
Why don't you, the ones that are, there and there, that are, because you still have to have like a pool of players that you're looking forward to see. And those are the type of friendlies that you use, those type of thing, because you never have any other opportunities as well. Because the truth of the matter is between now and the World Cup, there's a lot can change. So then you need to ask yourself a question now. Okay, if Ronwen, something happens within Ronwen, because it's been my number one since I've been here, is Sipo Chain ready to be the next one to step in. But how would you know that if you're not playing? Because there's a difference between a club form and a national team form. You understand what I mean? So those are type of friendlies that you need to play those guys. Because you know what you're going to get from Ronan. You know what you're going to get from Madao. You know all these players that you've been using. You know what you're going to get from them. So when are you going to use the players that you... Like, this is a game against Zambia. It's a game that you start your overs because it's always been in the national team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So when
So
does he get to prove?
prove that he actually deserves to be there. And if things comes to shit,
I'm capable.
he's capable to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a new thing.
It's not, and that's where my problem is. I'm not against any selection whatsoever. I'm just saying because I play for the national team and I've realized.
66 times, by the way.
Thank you.
You have to emphasize what it's hard.
But just like,
Able to borrow me maybe
yeah, I can give you. Because the truth of the matter is, guys, like Flop now, people from a fan point of view, fans that are just football lovers, they just watch the game. And then there's us who are former footballers that are still fans of the game, but we know what happens in the dressing room. We know what happens in the boardroom. So it's our opportunity as well when you're sitting here to also still be able to educate, right?
Yeah.
So then the education part is like, there's certain positions fans need to understand are based on form.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and those type of positions are judged based on numbers. A striker is judged on goals.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if you're presser. Hey, you're presser. Hey, what you're flicker.
Yeah.
At come end of the season, how many goals have you scored? The goalkeeper, how many clean sheets have you scored? 100%. It's unfortunate, right? Yeah. But other positions, maybe a number 10 year, okay, Sharp, how many goals have you created? But other positions, it's based on form, based on the work that you can. You understand what I mean? Sure. And for me, it's a worrying factor when I look at the selection. I'm like, okay, the only person.
Yay!
Yeah, we did speak about the Lightning.
We did
and we played from a team in Limpopo, so they used to.
I was about to say this man, the way he's used to it. Eh?
No.
Why?
Is it bringing back Is it
Kulele Limpopo, but I bought
the lightning shake. It didn't flick, nothing.
No, I bought lightning proof about 5 rand long time ago. Lightning will never do anything for me. So like you get to that position, you're like, okay, Sharp. For me, as if, let's say maybe now I get into coaching. If I get into coaching, I work with the guys every week in, week out. Yeah. And then if now I need to also be cognizant of the fact that, okay, Sharp, I need to understand that Linda, as much as he speaks about the age, now it's about management. Yeah. Now it's okay, Sharp. Linda's 33, 34. Okay, cool. He has given me 6 games back to back, right? And look at my log position. I'm like, okay, now I'm good. There's type of games that I can actually rest in. Yeah. Because I need him to give me another 6 games in the same format that he gave me.
And it may be a more important period.
Yeah. Right now, I can tell you right now, in the Bafana, now we have the trial and tested that whenever you look at Bafana, their names are always there.
You know who's there.
But have we ever looked at Bafana, what's going to happen if those guys are not there?
And the burnout factor as well, because you look at the
look at Tebo Modise. He's been in the Bafana. He's playing in Sundowns. He hasn't had a rest in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Ronan Williams, the same thing, right? Madao, you can say the same thing as well. So I'm just speaking from a Sundowns point of view, from FIFA Club World Cup and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We've never really saw what Bafana looks like without Mokwelo, right? Yeah. Okay, let's move forward. Now you have Mbule, that is the only person that has been selected from a creative point of view. Right? Yeah. You have Realism, but he is selected from a winger coming in. Yeah, we can speak about the dynamics that happen, but from a creative point of view, we only have Sipo, right? Yeah. So now the question is now, you have Sipo that is buzzing, he's one of the top players now we speak of. Now, we don't have anybody else besides Sipo, which means when Sipo's not on the pitch, definitely going to play different. And I don't see Sipo playing 3 games in a row in AFCON. Sure. I'm not saying this because I'm not wishing him to play 3 games in a row, but I'm saying for the fact that the game temperament that everybody has around him, he doesn't have. Yeah. He's not a starter on the Pirates. He comes in, the previous game in the final, he came in extra time. He changed the game. Yeah. Fantastic. The national team, the last time he played a very competitive game, he played 90 minutes, it was in the national team. Yeah. So therefore, he'll jump 2 months to 2.5 months to actually start playing a full, intense game, which is in the Bafana Bafana. He doesn't have the game temperament. Yeah. Let's not lie to ourselves. Well. So therefore, we're going to have to rely on the younger ones, the Reles, the Apolis to come in and help us. But I'm saying, comes back to the form, comes back to the numbers. We do have players that are on form. If for me, because I'm a realistic person, I know for a fact that in the national team, they're in the boardroom, they're using AFCON as a dress rehearsal for the World Cup because that's what the bigger picture is. So now the bigger picture is, okay, cool, guys. really needs to start
Yeah.
if I'm building towards
The World Cup.
the World Cup.
Yeah.
Because I need him to be the starter to be ready by then.
Yeah.
So he needs to start. Young Quarters needs to start. All the younger ones needs to start, right? But then my thing is like, okay, Jack, do we have all these quality players around, but we don't have replacements. And we become biased in terms of the players that sometimes we're selecting players not based on form, but because of what they have done for national team colours. So what it says to me, if I'm playing for Richards Bay, there is no way,
selected.
there is no fucking way that I'll be selected.
Unless I'm playing for one of the big
There's no
three
fucking
clubs.
way.
Even with the goalkeepers, because now with what Teko is saying now, it's hitting me right now that do we have a succession plan right now? Because it was the same thing we spoke about Joe Andrew Arances, right? Back then. And then we struggled a bit.
Yeah.
Then there was Monip. Brian was deputizing and all of that. Then Itu came in for the longest of time.
For long.
To a point that when he was injured, it was all of a sudden we have a goalkeeping crisis. Whereas we had goalkeepers. Right now, you're mentioning Ronza. We know what he's capable of. Everyone knows him.
yeah.
You know? He has shown. Now we look at who's deputizing for him. It's Sipo and Ricardo. In my honest opinion, I can gamble in dropping one of those and bringing in a Fletcher Smith-Lowe because he went to the AFCON under 20. He plays his trade.
phenomenal.
He was phenomenal. He plays for Estoril Praia in Portugal, which is European experience. It's okay, even though he doesn't get much game time.
We've got Peterson there.
Ronaldo.
In terms, I hear what you're saying.
No, right.
Young ones.
I mean, a salad you need to add stuff. You are going to eat salad, you need to.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know you don't eat salad. You are carrying your item.
Let me maybe ask this question. What do you think? Because in my mind, I think that when it comes to Coach Hugo, and forgive me, remember, this is my nation as well. You know?
Yeah.
Seeing Bafana win makes me happy.
Makes all of us happy. Yeah.
And obviously, we always raise questions around the national team. But don't you think that Coach Hugo relies a lot on club success? Because if you look at the makeup of the national team, it's Sundowns, it has Pirates, 3-4 overseas-based players,
No Chiefs.
right? Yeah, no Chiefs. Yeah, no Chiefs. And
no Chiefs.
And in that case, we'll think that maybe a Peterson could be third
come in.
goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Or Ronaldo Lina at Kukule could be third goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But when you look at that, in a league that is made up of 16 teams,
Yeah.
one Golden Arrows is playing exciting football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that winger.
He was a player of the month, not so much.
Look at Puso Diteja at TS Galaxy.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Those type of
Him
players.
and Mntambo boy.
Yeah.
And then you ask your question is where is or what's influencing the coach's decision? Like I said again, I
Can
think
I ask you guys this? Sorry to interrupt you, Figo. Is every player a national team player? And I'll tell you why I asked this. They included one player of the season, and he couldn't get into Bafana.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Bradley Grobler is one of the top finishers in the country. I know he's old, age aside.
yeah.
He can't get into the national team. We have so many examples of players that were top,
Yeah.
couldn't crack the national team. That's why I'm asking Figo.
Have you given them a chance?
Yeah, but I mean,
They have you
Bradley's
given- because-
defense. Bradley was part of the squad
AFCON in
under
2012, yeah.
Baxter, and after that, yes, there were changes and whatnot.
He didn't stop scoring.
He didn't stop. So again, it goes with preference with coaches.
No, tell me.
Their profiling.
At some point we were unknowns. All of
Yes,
us.
yeah.
True.
Nobody knew Teko. Nobody knew.
Somebody gambled with me.
Somebody
Yeah.
gave us a chance. So that's my point. And I'm not saying again, change the whole makeup of the squad. No. Like we spoke about it. You have a foundation, you've got a core. You've got those players that understand, that will integrate, other players. For instance, in my opinion, you bring in a lodge. We're playing in Morocco.
Yeah.
Can we get the weeded supporters coming in
Yeah.
and just helping us with the numbers?
With numbers,
Can we
yeah.
have lodge integrate the players
Sure.
in the culture, in the climate, in everything that's happening there? So instead of only just bringing him probably as a player, so now you're getting two in one.
Sure.
So
We're
you're
getting
someone
fans,
who's familiar.
you're getting
Familiar with the
you're
area.
getting someone who's going to give guys an understanding of what Morocco is.
Yeah.
And again, he deserves that. If you look at the numbers,
He's
his
not
numbers are
doing a
crazy.
favor, yeah.
Yeah, his numbers are crazy. And like what Teko said, in that 10th position, we only have Mbule. What happens when Spola crashes out? What happens when
He does see.
we have?
Performing
When
in
Luther
Cyprus,
see,
yeah.
he's in form. He scored now for Limassol right now.
Just won an
back to
award,
back. He won an award. His numbers, because what you are adding is very key, especially for you guys as creative midfielders. the main important thing is that if I'm not on the score sheet, at least assisting.
must assist,
And that's what Luther is doing. And not only did he move from Braga, he went to Copenhagen. So he has played, big games. He understands what it.
And I'm gonna be very controversial as well. Just to add on that
One
is,
controversy, man. Give us.
hey, so also in hindsight now, I feel like in 2010 squad, we could have done better with overseas-based integration into the national team, especially from an attacking point of view.
Okay.
Right. The reason why I'm saying this is you have a local player that is Teko Modise playing for Orlando Pirates at the time. His biggest games in the land at the time is versus Kaizer Chiefs and Sundowns. Right. So now you have overseas based players that are playing in EPL, La Liga, whatever the case may be.
Benny was at
that time. So now you have those guys that knows how to deal with that type of a pressure in those type of games, right? But then when you don't integrate them into the national team, when Bafana Bafana, when things were not going well in 2010, when you looked on the pitch to look for some sort of inspiration, you're looking at Teko Modise. He's playing local. He's playing against Bloemfontein St. Kicks next week. You understand what I mean?
And he's playing against a Carlos Vela from Barcelona at the time.
My guy. So I'm saying it comes back to that. Like we need guys. We gone are those days where we need to have certain players that are from certain teams, regardless of their form or not, and then they become part of the national team. Because then we don't need a Dankling story again. We need players that are actually on form based on numbers. Let's test them if they actually are capable of doing that.
Give them a chance to fail.
But also on the other side is like Hugo Bruce as well is also setting a foundation for us so that when he leaves, you still have a national team that can still be able to compete, because that's why he's integrating the younger ones. That's fine. But if you are willing to integrate the younger ones, don't exclude the ones that are in form, but you're judging them on the age. Because then if we're judging everybody by the age, okay, sharp. But then you're saying if you're old enough, then you can play. If we look at all the numbers, if there's at certain positions that we're looking at the numbers, then let's look at the numbers across board.
Sure.
Don't be specific. It's like Linda, the numbers are not great. But I don't care about the numbers, but you can be a soldier for me. No. We can't do that. And at these other times that we can actually have the type of conversation. People might say like, they bring in negativity. No, we don't. We're just looking at the reality of the game, because the truth of the matter is we've got 4 teams that are competing, and look at the log. Everybody must go look at the log. We're one of the best leagues. Look at the log. Look at the teams that are competing there. And we've never had the log like this in a while.
In a long time.
Now, look at the players that are dominating in those teams. Look as to then how can then I integrate them then? You understand what I mean? If I'm bringing a young player that I think maybe I want him to be ready come 2026 World Cup in Mexico, I need to do what Coach Carlos Abera did with Itu Melinkuni. He took him to 2008 AFCON. He never played him.
He didn't play.
But guess what happened after that?
Confed.
He was the guy. So now you sometimes you integrate players without even playing them. But you just acknowledging the fact that my guy, you're performing. But I want you to understand what it means for you to wear this jersey. Come here, let me show you.
You never have to get ready if you stay ready. You getting a player to stay ready.
It's quite simple.
You just had to go to the English that you got from Sokaladino, but I too.
How do you get the experience, though, man, if
you're not given a chance?
You're not given a chance. You test drive the car before you buy it, right?
True.
So that's what you do even with the players, because now you're looking at the different dynamics before you get to the tactical aspect and technical aspect. And again, Teko is talking about we're building. When we say we're building, we're not saying it's always about the national team is not a club. We're not building, we're not going to play in space or Mars or whatever. But we are talking in terms of now laying the blueprint. It can be Teko, it can be Talmain. It can be different personnel. But we're talking about the system.
A system.
And when you lay that system, you stick by it.
True.
And while you're doing that, you also need to understand that certain things will happen. Talmain, much as I love him, there might be a deeper form, a huge deeper form. What do I have in my arsenal?
Guys, there's going to be a lot coming next season.
There's a lot. I'm
scared. Yes, if you can find, I'm going to tell you from a footballer point of view, because I do analysis. I'm just not trying to be funny. There's a lot that's going to happen. I can tell you why. You have what you raised earlier on, Orlando Pirates dominating the national team, especially from an attacking point of view. Nobody's as exciting like Orlando Pirates right now.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I looked at Orlando Pirates and I'm like smiling because of how exciting they look when they play.
Sure.
They're dominating, right? Look at the number of games that they will be playing until come end of the season. Those players. Because those players are very key in their own teams.
Yeah.
And they will be very key in the national team colors. Look at Sundowns. Look at the number of games that they're going to be playing.
Yeah.
My guy, there's going to be a lot of deeper form. There's going to be a lot of injuries, right? And already we haven't really tested anybody else. You know what's going to happen? And I wish it doesn't happen. I'm going to say this. Where's my camera? Whatever. Yeah, Ola, I'm here.
Over here.
And I'm going to say this. I just wish South Africans, we're not going to do really what you guys did to me in 2010. We're not going to put pressure on Realism to be the guy that brings the World Cup to us or take us out of that group in Mexico like what you did to me.
Yeah.
Because you're going to kill that boy. That boy still needs to grow. He still needs to put this type of performance that he put for Pirates in the national colors, but he hasn't done so. We need to allow him to grow because he's the future of the club.
Yeah.
I know that it's going to be the face because of the brand that he's going to be wearing, right? Yeah. But let's not do that because South Africans, we normally do that. We put so much pressure on one player.
Yeah.
We're neglecting the other ones. Let's not do what we used to do. Now that we're happy Bafana Bafana is doing well and it's in a good space, we can only put on positivity and things that maybe that are neglected. Yeah. But let's not start putting pressure on individual players that we're thinking that we can't, guys. Really, when was the last time we were excited about a young player? You know, I think the last time I was excited about a young player was Steve Lekulia coming into the into the PSL.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember his age, but you know what I mean. But it was sad. But anyway, let's move on to another.
Let's wrap it up because with Bafana, and we'll continue to speak on this in the other episodes. There's 10 of this, by the way, for season 1 of the Carwash 2.0. We are going to touch on Bafana. There's so much to speak on. I want to move on to something, and we've already touched on it. The PSL. I want us to go back to school. You spoke about school now. Some of us went to school. Actually went to school.
In fact, I attended.
Oh, you attended?
I was very present.
Okay. But I want us to be present with this one. We are going to be issuing out report cards.
Okay.
It is June. It is the halfway mark. I want us to give out report cards halfway through the season to say which club is getting an A, which clubs are looking at failing, where we have to now call your parents and it's not looking good.
Yeah.
Which clubs do we have to push to work harder because they're just not making it? And I'm looking at the log, right? And it's only fitting that we speak about one of the clubs that is represented here. Yeah. Number 1, Orlando Pirates. You said that they excite you. They haven't excited you like this in a very long time. Number 2, Mamelodi Sundowns. That in itself is a talking point. That's a shock, right? Because it's unfamiliar territory. Number 3, not surprising.
Adibahlabe.
You saw him. Patabane Bantwa. Askis. That is another one.
Yeah.
And then number 4, Kaizer Chiefs. Positive, because performing Kaizer Chiefs is always good for the country. It's good for the economy. I heard people say that crime rates go down when Chiefs are doing well.
Hey.
Yeah, okay.
And then like Thunder strikes.
Then Thunder strikes. Kaizer Chiefs in number 4.
Yeah.
These are the top performers in the class.
Yeah.
These are the ones that we are calling them in assembly and we are giving them certificates.
Yeah.
Figo, and I want to start with you. Top 4 in the PSL 2025-2026. Who are you giving an A to and why?
Maybe let me honestly give that to Pirates for where they are and what they've done the first half of the season. 2 trophies. Winning 2 trophies, sitting top of the log. But again, it tells you that a league is a marathon. Pirates lost their first 2 opening games of the season.
And we were calling for the coaches here.
And then they went on to be undefeated in so many games, playing great football, not conceding goals. And, coaches will tell you that defense win you championships.
Yep.
And if you look at how they're going about their business, I think they deserve an A.
Yeah,
they deserve an A. And if we're to give another team a B, it would have to be Skukule.
Okay.
Not Sundowns. I think Sundowns in the past seasons, at this time of the season, they are the gap is huge
We are saying
Yeah.
given the league by
by this time. Yeah, already. And
it's wrapped up.
yeah, so a B would then be for us Sekhukhune. But for us again, I think we need to be consistent.
Yeah.
You know, how we started the season, again, maybe I think it should go back to again depth. You know, I think we lack a bit of depth because if players like Maghala aren't on form, and then the team suffers a bit. Brady is not scoring, you know, the team suffers a bit.
suffers, yeah.
I also got injured, and then it also had a knock, you know, in the team.
Yeah.
So I think for us, and again, you know, when I think we've been a team that's always been on the brink of, you know, winning silverware.
Yeah.
Never win the final of the Nedbank Cup.
You guys were bridesmaids a few times.
Yeah.
Stroy.
But you remember was that instrument
yeah.
in the all in there.
We need
You remember
FBI's and
you remember
that one.
the VR moment.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
But yeah, with us, I think if we can just be consistent.
Yeah.
And if you look at our 4 opening games of the season in Jan, those games will decide our season.
Yeah.
Playing Stellies.
Karababush.
Stellies are suffering that time.
Lightning with the Stellies.
Yeah, so you look at, we're playing Stellies, we're playing Pirates, we're playing Sundowns, we're playing TS Galaxy. If we manage to get 9-10 points in those games, I tell you, we're speaking something.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, so I think our season is going to be, you know, done, not necessarily done, but
Based off.
based on how we play.
Sure.
And again, there won't be a lot of traveling because we're playing those games at home in Polokwane. So we'll be there. Yeah, Polokwane, Lightning. Yeah. We call the wheels, let the rain.
So Pirates and A, and you're giving Sekhukhune
A B. Yeah.
I want to move over to those kids that are passing with 50%. They aren't failing, but they aren't passing with flying colors either. They are safe, and they might make it to the next grade. Brighton, I'm looking from number 5 to number 10. There's some interesting teams there. I just want to ask you, from those teams,
Yeah.
how do you rate them? What is their report card midway through the season?
Pass is a pass, so I'll just combine, especially.
This is a pass,
Listen, guys, I come from the OBE system.
not the 30%.
Yeah, that's why I was asking for him to add his caps so that I can sometimes when Teko is on
must
OBE, you never met Fleet.
OBE. You borrow this orange to Teko, the cap, he brings it back, and then I have 5 caps. Next episode, we'll be surprised if we're having 5 caps. But again, I'm going to combine them. The KZN teams, they impressed me the most. I think they showed their hand. They showed that they can be a force to be reckoned with. Amazulu, obviously, taking, you know, the lead when it comes to KZN clubs.
Yeah.
Richards Bay, personally, I thought they were dead and buried beginning of the season. I didn't know whether they were coming or going.
With 100 million in sponsorship.
Shomomiela, whatever you're doing, my brother, I'm speaking very nicely about your team. Can the Thunder, the Lightning beat it? You know, but yeah, I believe that's what they've been doing. They came out, they were one of the candidates. They were my candidates for relegation beginning of the season. That's how struggling they were. And then they came out. Great performances as well. And then lastly, within those kids would be Oput Nation. Oput Nation, Golden Arrows. There's something nice they're doing there, man. From the production side of things, there's a vibe, man.
There's
There's
podcast.
you see, there's a swag, and that swag is rubbing off. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, those are the passing system.
Those are the okay. Teko, I want to move over to you, where we look at the kids that we are worried about them. We have a list of possible failures.
Yeah.
The ones who are not progressing with us. And I don't know if it's something you have experience in, but it's it's happening there at the bottom. 5.6 points separate number 11 to number 16.
Yeah.
That's a worrying sign at this point.
Yeah.
Siwelele 11, Marumo Gallants in 12th, Orbit College in 13th, Stellenbosch in 14th, Magesi 15th, and last but not least, the club these two gentlemen played for, Chippa United.
Yeah. And then what are the marks? The marks? Am I giving or I'm just? I guess for me the first one will be the very alarming one is Chippa. I guess they've been lingering around that type of positions for so many years.
Has the luck run out?
I think it does. I think it has. Also, you look at how many times every season he changes coaches. And by doing that, which means you don't have any identity whatsoever as to how the team needs to play. They never do well in the market. They always get loan players to come in and help them come into the season. So it looks like, and there's no disrespect to Chipa Mbengas, but it looks like every year he finds a reason why the team needs to suffer.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's uncalled for. You look at them now, they're in a very difficult position. Even when you look at Chipa, you watch them, you don't see them as to how they win a game. Right.
9 points from 15
I know.
games.
No, listen, I was doing a cheaper game there with Chiefs, my friend. No shot at goal. At some point, you're like, okay, Shap, how are you going to win a game? And they're changing coach. Maybe Coach Villegas will do something, right? And I also guess maybe from that point of view, Orbit as well. Orbit are newcomers. Generally, when you get into the league, always the newcomers are always a surprising factor. Yeah. They're always going to be number 8 in Yana lingering because nobody knows how you play. Yeah. And your dark horse. And they never really took that tag that is Orbit. They're struggling as well. They took all the responsibility of ASO Survivor to a guy that was emotionally broken, that is Saleh. Right? Yeah. And with that, it comes with a huge responsibility. And then the guy needs to find himself, fall in love with the game, you know? And they never did well in the market. So maybe January they might do something in the market, but just what's the market is there's nothing. Right? I don't think there's enough quality players that are out there that are not playing for any team. So I think those two teams, if we're in the EPL, they're relegating 2 teams. I think Orbit and Chipa will actually be relegated. Magesi, you know what Magesi does? Magesi, you go to Sujiko there. They put their foot there on the net. They make it difficult for you to win. They might not lose, they might not win, but for you to win them there, they will put the foot here. So it's a team that will struggle, but they'll survive. Yeah. Because they know how to survive. But I guess for Chipa, it saddens me because Chipa have always given us great players in the PSL. For the fact that they're finding themselves there every season.
And they just bought the School of Excellence.
Come on. So Chipa and J,
but they'll come out. They'll come out.
You see, sentiment.
So they're used to it.
Yeah.
We've been there, you know.
But that's the problem.
Second half of the
But
season.
how long can you ride your luck?
You can buy anything with money.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like that abusive relationship. You're so used to it. There's nothing else that you know.
It's gonna get better.
It will get better. Maybe let me not say hi. Let me wait for him to. It's that type of vibe when it comes to sheep. And I get
offer bonuses, bro. Second half.
And then what happens after survival? You know what he does after survival?
He's like, Coach, if they don't want to play, it's okay. Leave them. My team survived. Now the Pirates and Sundowns can play here next season. Yeah. If he wants to leave,
how are we getting into that? The money comes. It comes. But I'm shocked again, Donald, when you're talking about those kids. Are you not worried about studies now?
No.
No one not worried about studies.
No. I'll tell you why I'm not worried about studies.
Yeah.
When you have kids in your team, we have inconsistency problem whenever it comes to kids, young players.
Sure.
And that's what's happening. And also the load also that they have from Africa as well. It doesn't do them any favors. And I think Coach Barker, maybe wherever he is, they need to make a decision as to then sacrifice continental football to survive here. And because they've got so many kids, they've got so many talented players, and I think they're going to lose one of the star players as well to Orlando Pirates. I don't know whether it's true or not, but it just they
must read Soccer Laduma for that one.
Okay, I don't have Wi-Fi. Are they online? So I guess also I think the biggest problem that Coach Steve Barker's facing is he sold all the quality players with no replacements. All the star players.
He's been getting away with it for a long
time. I think this is a season that they gonna have to learn. They will survive, but it's the biggest lesson. Because I'll tell you what, Cape Town City went through the same thing. They never learned. They end up going out. You can't sell players without replacing.
But can they keep them again? Remember when big clubs are calling for your signature?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like, if me and Yakting years ago and it's okay, Sharp, I want Figo, but okay, 15 bar, okay, 20. Within that 20, I need to be able to sign 3-4 players with that 20. Right.
Yeah, but salaries again, because when you also sign players, remember again, you can only get quality and experience from the so-called big teams because they've got depth within their squads. Yeah. So when you get a player from Pirates, Chiefs, or Sundowns, how much are they earning a month?
Yeah, but
and then they come in.
Stellies have well documented. I wouldn't say a salary cap, but they don't pay more than a certain amount to keep things balanced in the team because no one is bigger than anyone.
Then they'll be balancing them with the foundation.
Because you know what's going to happen.
And there's
the scary part. The scary part right now is that a lot of teams, especially the ones that Teko mentioned, there'll be a lot of penny buys.
Yeah.
Which was going to break now that
These ones that are failing. We're speaking about these.
Trust me, you know, January every time, right? There's penny buys. You start the season with, no, my salary cap is going to be this.
Yeah.
Then you listen to what Teko is saying and you're like, actually, he's right. I need to at least find a way to balance the squad and survive. How am I going to survive? I need to go to the market. And now going to the market means breaking the bank, breaking your rules.
Hey,
and
it's a catch-22.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
but now with that pennies buy, are you getting what's worth your money? And are you getting someone who's going to come in and hit the ground running in January? Because this one, it's always different when we have a long...
It's like a listoplast, in fact. You're just patching so that you can go on and be able to survive. So all the January market that a lot of the teams that are struggling in relegation trying to buy, they're not buying a player that is playing at Cocoon. They're buying a player that's on the bench. So therefore, you come in, you bring him in to try and help you survive, and you ask him to, to play in a certain way, but where he's coming from is not even playing. So it's always going to be that problem. But still is they never really take players from big teams to come and bring them there. So they always have a system that they found players. Yeah. But I'm just saying, okay, Shap, if you've tasted continental football, you like it. It tastes nice. So now for you to be able to compete,
Sushi.
yeah, you can't be sushing with a fork. You need to have the chopsticks.
Sushi nice.
You know what I mean?
Let me
I still don't know how to use it.
let me ask you this yes or no question. Okay. Stellies, are they staying up?
Yes.
100%.
Figo?
Yeah, you're going to stay up.
They're staying up.
Yeah.
In fact, we need to go to the wine lands. You know what's happened after the games?
In the wine line.
Yeah, with grapes. We drink grapes.
Is that the reason why the grapes are finished? Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we do go to the wine lands, you are still with us on the Carwash 2.0. Please do follow us on socials. We are on Facebook, on Instagram, and on X. Also, if you have questions for the legends, please drop it, and your questions can be played towards the end of the show. I want to move over to the next segment, and this one is a bit more personal, but it's a bit more lighthearted.
Okay.
Right? It's a quick fire thing, and it is called Things You Cannot Live Without. We have 4 categories.
Okay.
Right? You don't need to explain why.
Yeah, just name
To
them.
say what it is.
Okay.
So we're gonna start off. A football item you cannot live without. Teko.
Yeah, but you need to ask Figo because he's still playing.
Oh, but
Okay,
you played the
okay.
game.
Yeah, but it's a fair question.
Let me start.
Because he's still playing.
We still have to think.
We're not playing.
Bro,
Okay,
retired
okay.
10 years ago.
Let's switch it up. You couldn't live without. Let me say.
Yeah.
That you couldn't live
And then with me, I can't live without.
because I saw your top lip was a bit swollen, Teko. So I don't know if that is one of the things.
My friend, stay out of my business.
And you did say it's a touchy one. Yeah.
Figo, top football item you cannot live without. Don't have to explain why.
Yeah.
Tell us what it is.
It's not a football item, but
Okay.
it's something I can't live without, which is the Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've always got to carry that. I think it's my armor. Besides the boots,
Amen.
you got to have the boots, but
Amen.
the Bible.
Okay.
Bible.
Yeah.
Brighton? Football item you couldn't live without?
It's gloves.
Gloves. Oh, okay. Okay. Fair enough. Teko?
I guess it was boots for me.
Boots.
Always, yeah, a good pair of boots, nice colorway. Because I strongly believe that brought so much confidence into the way that I was playing football.
Favorite pair of boots ever?
The Pink Panthers, because they were just 7 in the world, and I was part of the 7.
I remember. That was cornrows. Yeah, clock it. Yeah. That was cornrows, Teko Modise.
No, it was Teko Modise.
Cornrows. Because we had different Teko Modises.
Oh,
Yeah.
We had cornrows, and then we had
You're the
we
more
had more Teko.
Afro
And you knew which Teko was in fashion, judging by going to Kasi football on weekends. Because when there was cornrows Teko, a lot of the kids there, and then there was mohawk. Then there was a time you went with the skin with the chicken.
Yeah.
And then that was, so that's why I'm asking, was it cornrows Teko?
I don't remember, yeah, but it was one of those eras, yeah.
With the
Yeah, it
pink,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Next one, I'm going to start with you this time, Mr.
Okay.
Pink Panther. A guilty pleasure that you cannot live without.
Snooze.
Snooze. Okay. Right, Tim? I don't know if you're in the same WhatsApp group.
Are you still in football or just
No. Now we've moved on from football. We are on guilty pleasures you cannot live without.
in general?
In general.
Yo,
Hey, I think I'm a foodie these days.
You're a foodie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have become.
Yeah, but all of us we won't live without food.
No, you know.
But that one thing that when I have my last clipper
yeah.
or my last whatever amount, I'm gonna go and get that one because that is my thing. What's that for you?
It's a court, I'm fan.
You got that.
Yeah. Me foodie lately.
But I'm looking at you, you're slender. You don't look like.
It's genetic.
No, listen, it goes all the way.
And okay. Vanaf,
In and out.
Figo.
But I'm going PBL. Can't you see?
I see.
With me, that's really a cappuccino.
Cappuccino.
Yeah. I can't.
Yeah, I can see in his post every day in the morning. He has stuff.
Like a
There,
cart.
Cappuccino.
Yeah.
Favorite spot to get a cappuccino?
It depends which one's closer to training or just on the way.
Last cappuccino you
Yeah, but
It's
last
probably-
one I had was at BP Garage. What's that? What's that store?
Wild
Bean. Yeah, Wild Bean.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why I had that one in the morning. Yeah.
Match day superstitions, Brighton. I start with you. What is a game day superstition you couldn't live without?
Singing, bro.
Singing.
Yeah.
A quick
Think-
chore.
Singing, and I was one of the guys actually who used to sing in the dressing room.
Did you have a cock game if you didn't sing?
It was always not even if I didn't sing, because everyone prompted me to sing to start a song, right? But when I look around, you have your players. When I look to my left and Donna's not singing, I become worried because I know that this is the man who's always in. It's like when you look at Figo, you know, we either would sing or dance, and when he's not doing all of those things, I'd be worried that, hey, and then that alone would just play in my head that it seems like we're not okay.
Figo? Match day superstitions?
I have to call my family.
You have to call
Yeah, like
the kids.
I have to call wifey, the kids, moms. Like I need to speak to them. If I don't speak to them, like I won't have a good game. Somehow I just won't have a good game. So the moment I get a call from, I give them a call, it just soothes my heart. I know that now it's game on. You can't do anything. And when they're on the stands, it's worse.
It's worse. Yeah.
Oh, even the passes are different. How you receive.
Even the celebration.
Like everything, yeah.
You pass
No look, yeah. Like baby's here to watch you.
Yeah.
So why do you have to
you
watch,
put on the show?
look at the ball? You
Yeah.
watch it at the grandstands.
Teko, wrap it up for us.
I think it was headsets, man. I always have to listen to music. I think I really stopped being fascinated about singing in the dressing room because of what happened when we played. And we're just going to be quick. What happened when we played Portugal?
Yeah.
Yeah, we played Portugal, the national team. We were singing so much in the dressing in the tunnel. And it was cold.
Yeah.
I'm a -2, bro. I'm a glove now. Cold. And Ronaldo and the Teko, they're looking at us like this. We were singing, but like, God, this one's we're gonna hammer them today. Hey, they hammered us.
And then
And I was like, this thing is taking us too much energy.
We're singing it.
Yeah, we're singing it.
What was the score?
I think it was 2. They beat us 2. I don't remember though, but we were playing in Switzerland. It was so cold.
But you were suffering.
Yeah, from
you
there
were
on.
singing.
Yeah. In fact, you know, we're playing against Ronaldo. You look at Ronaldo, that guy is tall. You look at Deco at the time was still playing for Barcelona. You know that Portugal, Pepe and all that. Yeah, you're like, this one's. After singing, I'm like, I'm not singing again. So even when I moved, went to Sundowns, like I think I started singing back when I was in Cape Town's city.
Yeah.
But I stopped because then I'll listen to my music, and there's certain songs that I need to listen to just to have, and that's my life. Like when I wake up in the morning, I still have to. No, it just depends on the mood. There's always a song that really, get you in it, and that was the thing. So for me, even if you look at all my pictures, it's either I'm in the bus sleeping, taking a nap, but I'm always listening to music. It has to be music all the time.
Hey, but guys, let's not stop singing.
You know, and it's always the same stories that Teko is saying. Because even with us, Kev, that's what happened. We in the bus, Al-Akhli's year, 2013, the final.
Fine.
We're busy singing, the t-shirts are off. Bro, by the time we go to the game,
You're tired.
me as a keeper, I still have to shout. Keeper's protocol is gone. Keeper.
But it's our thing. It's a
South African thing. If you're a player and you're watching us, please don't stop singing.
No, don't.
No, but they don't play Portugal. So.
Okay.
You know what? That's
This guy.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Yeah, let's move on to one of my favorite sections of the show. it is where you guys, the fans, do get involved and you ask your questions to our superstar panel over here.
I love that.
We do have questions from Instagram and we have questions from Facebook as well.
Okay.
Right? So I'll start with this one.
Get off the Facebook
And
monster.
it's one that kept coming up. Vuyo from Instagram asks, I would ask Figo, why Utoga Amasket?
It's fashion, bro.
It's fashion.
It's fashion. And fashion is an expression.
How's it?
Problem.
He rhymed! He rhymed, ladies and gentlemen!
So the problem I have with a lot of people don't understand that we don't all have to follow trends.
Sure.
And with fashion is wear something that you're comfortable in. Right. And
You're
with,
comfortable in a skirt.
yeah, and when I'm wearing a skirt and I feel confident, you know.
Did you ever wear a skirt when you are with your wife and she's wearing a skirt?
Before I leave the house and
She's the first
baby, you look good. Yeah, she understands.
There we go.
I swear.
Fucking legs.
So why not? And I've got the legs.
And you've got the legs. Yeah.
Is it the skate study rough dance or?
I know, I studied rough dance, you know. And let's educate people. It's not a skirt. It's a kilt. It's a male skirt.
Okay. The Scottish one.
Yes, it's a male skirt because it's just below the knee, man. Yeah, anything above the knee. Now you skate the study rough dance and also cash.
Right.
We have Deco who has asked a question for Teko Modise. And his question goes as follows. I would like to ask how the relationship was between him and Dr. Ivan Khoza after he departed Pirates.
After I departed Orlando Pirates, I don't think I ever had an opportunity to speak to, especially on the Sundowns. We never really had an opportunity to speak to each other. I think when I was at Sundowns, I only met him once after winning the Champions League because he's one of the part of the delegates that actually met us at the airport. But one thing that I'll tell you though, which is something that I don't think I've actually spoken about in public like this. I did go to, I had a private meeting with him a couple of years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And the meeting was supposed to be 30 minutes. It lasted an hour, 2 hours. It was one of the best meetings I've ever had with him. And I think also for me personally, it was good for myself because I asked to meet him.
Yeah.
It was good for me. And just to clear the air, now that in a matured state, I don't think I left the team in the right way.
Yeah.
And I went back to actually apologize as to then the immaturity that I had because of those were driven by emotions, even though I wanted to leave, but I could have left better.
Okay.
And I had that type of conversation and ever since then, I think also it was part of growth for me. And to those that think maybe me and Orlando Pirates, ACL, there's no such thing. I never fought with anybody even when I left. I didn't fight with Dr. Ivan Khoza. And it's just that that's maybe because I've never claimed a legendary status to Orlando Pirates. People think maybe I don't. But to be honest, guys, I have won everything with the Mamelodi Sundowns team. Yeah. The very same person that was cursed is uncursed now. So,
all right.
I'm
the lightning has stopped. Yeah.
No, but the truth of the matter is, I am who I am because of Orlando Pirates.
Yeah.
It's a fact. But I've won everything that I won in football because of Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what could have happened if I stayed. I don't know what could have happened if I joined a different team. But I'm not going to speak hypothetical. I'm speaking facts. I won the biggest trophies with Sundowns. Yeah. I lost most of the trophies playing for Orlando Pirates. So for me is maybe that from a fan's point of view, I don't have any beef with Orlando Pirates. I know what it feels like. Figo knows what it feels like. You know what it feels like to wear that jersey. Yeah. One game, everybody knew who my name was. So I am who I am because of that club. And if I have to do it again, I will still play for Orlando Pirates.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Stuff.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Brighton Danny Madenzo Moreo asked
to offer them a says.
He asked, Brighton, how did you manage to come back as a keeper after you conceded many goals? I don't know if he's speaking about
the 6.
No, it's that game. It's that game.
The one that
before
Machine resigned on air.
I did some research and you played against Brighton twice. You've lost against them significantly. I think 5-2. As in both of you on the field at the same time, twice.
Yeah.
And then he won once actually.
He won once.
I think when he was at Cosmos, he beat us.
Yeah.
They beat us.
It's Olin
Cup
Park.
game, Olin Park.
Yeah, yeah.
1-0.
1-0.
1-0, and then
They beat us 5
following day, a couple of days after that, we beat them 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Teko, you played against Brighton 3 times.
No, but the training, he knows. I've got
Oh,
1,000
yo,
pass team.
Okay.
Yo,
okay.
like,
Why are we talking?
No, but we're speaking
said
about
he
of
spoke about
official,
facts.
yeah. Facts,
Not
yeah.
circumstantial.
Sure.
Well, yeah, because I thought no. We're
Speaking about the one that is there. Yeah, the one that your grandkids can go and
Yes,
Google one day.
yes.
Yeah. My Opa
I
played.
like it. Continue there. I like where it's going.
You played against Brighton on 3 occasions, correct me if I'm wrong. And the record is quite even. Played 1, drew 1, lost 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brighton. I know,
No, it
I
can't
know you,
even just say also he never scored me, and I took
and
man
he's
of the
never
match
scored you, yes.
performance when he was
when he
playing.
was playing.
Yo.
That's my time now to shine. Man of the match performance.
And he's
when I
never
was playing.
scored against you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the one
never
one
scored
vivid
against
one that I
Ito
think.
either.
Yeah, I did once. With it, I scored once. I think it was the day that we won the league. It wasn't intentional. It was just a pass that I was trying to play to Kama and then it bounced.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember that.
So-
but against Brighton, you've never scored.
No. But the thing is, okay, to my defense, to my defense,
Defend yourself, my man.
I've never been for me, I find joy in creating a goal.
Did you create against him?
I don't remember because
has.
he was not.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have
Because Brighton.
Because that's as
Which
good
team
as
was he
a
playing
goal
for at the
for
time?
him.
Which team?
no. So
Which teams were he playing for at the time?
Adverse?
Pirates,
Pirates,
I
yeah,
played.
Pirates.
So I played. I played.
I've never
Two
played well
games.
against Pirates. I've never had a great game against.
No, there's one. There's one where he
I've never-
created.
Figo plays well against
Yeah,
Pirates.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
time he
And I'm
plays.
surprised that dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen players that were so dope at other Pirates, and they move somewhere else, and then when they play against them, they become cuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was surprised. I'm actually still surprised.
Man
that
with the
Chibu-
tattoo, when he goes against him. performs.
Dude, okay, let me say this. You know, as a footballer, you're always gonna have your team that you know against this one's. No man ngalala ngo-3.
Hoodoo team. Yeah.
You understand? This one you'll perform. And I used to say that, and people used to give me stick about it. Like, man, there was 2 teams. Like, regardless of my form, on that day, Nje, I'm just a different person. Kaizer Chiefs, Morocco Swallows, forget. K Chiefs, and it be Chiefs, like people like, because you hated it because you never played for Chiefs. No. I played for Pirates. I never got no regrets. But I'm saying there's teams that you Nje because of the fan base that they have. And also, you
So you
know,
wanna shut them up.
yeah.
You
And I'm gonna
wanna
say this again. Yeah. And also I'm gonna say this again because there was a lot of comparison. You know, when I was playing, there was a lot of comparison. Like, Figo's not better than Don or what. And I like those.
Yeah.
And for me, because I didn't have a voice to be able to compete and brag about certain things outside the pitch. Because those things, they never fascinated me, right? Yes, I'll drive a nice car, but it wasn't who I am. Yeah, live in a nice house, but that's not who I am. Who I am, it's this thing. This 4 lines. You know what I mean?
4 lines.
And I used to tell players that, guys, we can brag about all these things. But there's one thing that you're not going to beat me at around these 4 lines. Compete with me there. Don't tell me about you've got a nice cheek. My cheek is limping. Or it's got kiss. I don't give a shit about that. But on those 4 lines,
man.
that's where
to go there.
No, but I'm just saying.
Yo, go there.
Yeah.
Go deeper, Papa.
No, but my thing is like, the only time that I could, because I grew up as a shy kid, right? And the only time I could have some sort of control or arrogance was on those lines. I was the most arrogant, but not in speaking. You'll never hear me chap. It's very minimal.
Yeah.
But I knew who I was before anybody can tell me who I was. Even though maybe at the time when I wasn't anybody, but I kind of knew who I was. For the fact that I could practice having signatures in the class, playing Gussie football, I knew I was going. You know what I mean?
Bafana.
Yeah, I was practicing
you
those
practicing.
things. Yeah, but I knew I was going. But the thing
But
is,
were
like,
you in the failing group at that time?
yes,
Were you
no,
part of the kids in
man.
danger?
Listen to me in the way I speak. So my thing is like we played against each other, maybe one way or another, right? And there's a lot of players that only understands me now after retiring because they're seeing a lot of similarities within the players that are playing right now. I was called arrogant back then. Do you know why I was arrogant? Because you are playing football for a different reason than I do.
Yeah.
You playing football because you look nice, you're good. I'm playing football for survival.
Wow.
I'm not playing it because my salary it's split in so many ways that if I don't do this well, there's no plan B.
World collapses.
You know what I mean? So the arrogance was there. As to then who dresses well, okay, it's fine. But also what I like, I just also want to give you flowers. I don't want to say the era because now it looks like now I'm that old dopey. But the thing is, like, you guys, the figure, the group that you guys had. I remember when they started, like, especially on the social media thing, they used to get a stick like cool and all that type of stuff. I'm gonna tell you this, bro, my guy. You gave a personality. You allowed fair or players to actually be able to express themselves outside of the game.
Yeah.
Because people still think, and you know what I hated when I was still playing, for somebody to bump into me in the street and still call me a player. I'm not wearing football kit. I'm not a player. I am Teko. I've got a different personality on the pitch, and off the pitch, I'm a different person. And if the system never allowed us to be expressive in that way. The reason why I like wearing clothes, it's my form of expressing because I didn't have a voice. The way that I played football, it was my way of expression because I can't be having press conference. Dude, I was the most criticized player till date in South African football. I never had a chance to have a press conference, but I never had. The only way that I used to do it, come weekend, let me go fucking kill it. You know what I mean? And the figures and them, they because of also the social media allows them. It's so nice to see players with the personality. I love players with the personality.
Yeah.
I love seeing a player, you go into a game, your hair has changed. It's a personality thing. Guys own it. Yeah. Now, instead of being rigid, you know, the last time I was too serious about the game, too focused. We lost. You know what she said to me? It was Dane Clay's birthday. A day before we played, I was playing for Supersport. We're playing Paris the next day. So Supersport, when Peter was there, we never used to camp. So we're there at Dane Clay's party there. We're drinking Red Bulls in the mines. We focused. Figgy look Cheese. Cheese will forgive me. Cheese boy Muko and Figgy that because we're still playing in the under 23 together. Cheese
with the
Cheese with the with the Ronaldo kid.
Ronaldo,
Chief says to us, hey, you guys are too focused. Hey, focus, drinking Red Bull. We're going to beat you tomorrow. And Cheese is like drinking, and I'm like, this one's we're talking there because Supersport, all the age group. We're playing the next day, 3:30 or 3 o'clock at Loftus. Guess what happened? This fucker came in as a substitute. He scored 2. We stopped drinking Red Bull from that day. No, I still drink Red Bull.
yeah.
But things changed. But also, like, it's what makes you because he was so expressive, but we thought it was arrogance. But he knew who he was. And what Linda, you guys are doing it. I can see Linda, I can name a lot of guys, but I'm just going to give you flowers because I think you are the gate. You actually open those type of gates to say, guys, it's okay to express yourself. Now, people are looking at you. When somebody says Linda Mntmabo, it's like, okay, guys. Now you've added on into the season, not just be a footballer. When you look at, we can also go back to music. We can say when you name Oskambo, oh gosh, you add on to that. Gone are those days of okay, you've been scared to express yourself, and that for me, my biggest expression is that now that I've retired, that's my go-to. Like that is space. I love clothes. If the day that I'm gonna go broke, it's because of clothes. I love clothes.
But you see again, I think it goes back to the DM I sent you. We need to also give credit and kudos to
the ones who start.
Yeah, and I told Donna, we did a case study of him and David Beckham when we did the PSL transition course that was held by at Gibbs, PSL and Meldicho.
There, but you were a graduate.
Yeah, that was Dr. Ivan Khoza's vision, So he put us in a program that allowed us to understand that we are more than just footballer. And the program allows players to be marketable.
Yeah.
Because I always say this to people that not all players, do you want to tell me that we all misuse money? Now, why are all former players broke? It means the system is not designed to allow players to transition well after football. So if you look at the class of 2022 in that transition course, we saw Vilagazi. What is he doing now? There's Itumile Nkune. What is he doing now? There's Vince Nkune, right? There's myself and many others that I can mention. Sure. That have come from that transition that just opened our thinking and just broadened how we look at life to understand that there's just more to football. Remember, we are footballers for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So what happens to the 22 and a half hours left in the day? Are you just going to sit there, play PlayStation, and just try to fit in and avoid people criticizing you for you being you?
Yeah.
That's the problem that's happening with a lot of footballers. I told Donna the other day, I said, you took the criticism, you paved the way for us to run. Today we run it.
Yeah, but
you have people praising us, and he's also saying, I'm giving you flowers. But we are able to run because he took all the criticism. Hey, Donna is a model. He's not focused on his football. Every time results don't go their way, he gets all the passion. 2010 World Cup, things don't go in. It's the McDonald's shit, it's this and this. But that showed us that at the end of the day, what are we going to do? When are we going to have that level playing field? Because overseas players are living that life.
Because that's where the life is, man. You guys will right figure like we of course the system is the system is bad.
Yeah, because also it's not a conversation that I can just cut. Yeah, it's something that has to be said.
Part of what I was about to say, what Shreya was saying, it talks about reinventing and knowing yourself and believing in yourself, because people will still talk, whether we like it or not. You do good, they'll talk. Whether you do bad, they'll talk. But the sad part, maybe just before I hand it over to Donna, is that you are in a position where you hold your destiny in your own hands.
Yeah.
So it's up to you whether you want to succumb to the pressure, you want to succumb to people who are saying a lot of things about you, or you just want to say, I know who I am and this is where I'm headed. And I think from hearing the chants, what they're saying, that's what they did. And in hindsight, I think also that's what I got to do after my injury, when I was like, do I sink and wait for someone to come and save me? Or do I just rise up and reinvent and just continue going?
Because you are still 34. You could have been way out there. The US streets.
Because like I said a little bit earlier, it's just to also maybe have a space as well as to then how then do we educate the ones that are still playing. Yeah. I would like to believe that maybe many might disagree, but many might agree as well. In South Africa, in my generation, I was the first of first, right?
Yeah.
And that comes with a lot of criticism. There was no Footballer of the Year award before me. There was none. You can go back to the history. So that was created, and now there's Footballers of the Year, right? And with that comes a lot of criticism. I'm just saying to footballers right now, you're in a space where you're allowed to be yourself, but there's other guys that got criticized, like Figo said. You're allowed to be yourself. Not everybody should be, after retiring football, become a coach and analyst and all that stuff. And I've always said that for football, for South African football to be able to elevate, to get to greater heights, we need former footballers in administrative positions. And so for footballers that I really, really love, books that want to go to school and all that stuff, I think that's the position that they're able to carry us. You don't have to dress nice. You don't have to be on Instagram. You don't have to do what I do. It's my passion. When you look at me on Instagram, you can see nothing is forced. It's who I am. And I've been like that before Instagram. Those who know me, they know me. But just that once it became an Instagram thing, you getting criticized. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
And I'm a human being. Sometimes it gets to me, sometimes it doesn't. But the thing is that the same arrogance that I had on those 4 lines, the same arrogance that helps me outside of football, even right now.
That's why we have you here.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, for me to be, you must understand, like I said, like, at some point I was the most criticized. Ridiculous things were written about me for months and months. That sometimes I wish, like, and Mandela was sick at the time. I was like, oh, can somebody, yeah, I'm like, Mandela's sick, can we speak? It was just me all over the recycling the same stories. But what I'm saying is, like, within those things still, I am here because today I am here involved with bigger brands, bigger corporate brands, where no footballers are actually being in those type of spaces. We're having conversations with the CEOs. You sit in the boardroom, people are taking out laptops, hey, backspace, delete, what. But it's because where I'm doing right now, I know there's a lot of footballers that will be able now to own buildings. And it's for us that are being given this type of opportunities to do well so that it creates easy opportunities and easy avenues for the players that are coming in. If I fuck up in my position, the corporate company, like, footballers are shit. Gone are those days where footballers used to be labeled as guys that just run after this round thing, they're dumb. Nobody speaks about that anymore because people realize that we're actually smart. So now within us who are being given opportunity by the Lord himself, being in the good position that we are in, of course we have our own demons, we have our own struggles as well. But of the fact that we're still surviving and we're here, I want to see Timbazwane thrive. I want to see Realism thrive. Okay, those are the two that comes to mind. I'm not comes to mind. But the players, I want to see two footballers thrive. We can't. My thing was I wanted to surpass what Dr. Kumar did, and it's not because I don't like Doctor. Doctor's my childhood hero, but because he was the benchmark for me.
Yeah.
Doctor still today he's marketable.
And he's almost 60.
I don't know. Lucas in there. Lucas had a marketable. You know what I mean? So for me to be in this space to say, guys, I've worked with so many brands within my career in South Africa. I don't think there's any brand that I've never worked with. I've worked with so many brands. But for the fact that but still, I still make my mistake, but I still come back. So players now that are playing now, don't be scared to make mistakes because that's the only way that you learn. But don't do those things intentionally. But understand that your brand, you see the name that you carry whenever you play every single day, that's your brand. You know how many people that you represent with just that name?
Yeah.
You're not just representing yourself. You're representing that clan that you're coming from. And then in front, there's always going to be a jersey that the team that you're playing for. You're representing even the lady that cleans for the team, a kit man. So just as players sometimes become reckless, they're thinking, this face of this thing it'll fade away and they fix on your ball. Like gone are those days. Things now stay longer on the internet. And what I'm trying to say is like, guys, there's money outside of football. There's more money outside of football.
And which position afraid to?
Position yourself. I'm here. I'm still going to say I am here. I want to have a conversation with guys, not just what's happening outside of football. It's just in football as well. That's why I said a little bit earlier on, I just hope South Africans, we're not going to do what you did to me to Rele. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know if I was strong enough to be able to come out, but I did. But I've seen players that I played with in my era, even the era before me, that had a quaternion of issues that I had. They were unable to come back. So with guys that are playing football right now, just understand that outside of football, beyond the World Cup, beyond AFCON, there is something that is called life. There's a reason why footballers, when they retire the first 2 years, they go into depression. Is because they didn't plan.
Yeah.
There's a reason why footballers now retire on social media, because they don't want to retire. They're scared to say, I am retired, because it is a fear that of something that you've been doing since 8 years old. Now all of a sudden, I stop.
Hey.
And it's that is a problem. Players, trust me, that age 36, 35 is going to come. When you're 27, 28 now, start planning your life. And it's not as difficult as people may think it is. It is not.
On that bombshell. Oh, what a way to end it all. That's
Something. Love it, Donna.
And on that bombshell, we have come to the end of our episode. That is all we have for now. Good thing is that there's 9 more of these. This was episode 1 of the Carwash 2.0. Thank you so much to my guest, Teko Modise.
And Brighton, can you put me on camera before our next episode? We're all wearing suits. Thank you.
Yay. Heard it from the man inside. Are you ready? Ready. That's it.
Don't bring the one that you use for your wedding. The silver ones. The one that looks like Hardale.
The virus ones.
But I still have that one.
Thank you so much for watching. Please do drop us your comments. We are on socials, Instagram, Facebook, and X. Thank you so much for watching the Carwash 2.0. See you on the next episode. Away.
Master Trent.